Hello everyone, today is the 2nd of July, 2024. Okay, further to my video of yesterday, I was talking about the elections and the pamphlets and the different political parties. I will deal at the end with what I didn't mention yesterday. A few things, but I was looking at my the poll card that you receive in the mail. I don't know whether you can see it. Okay, so it says that you must bring photographic identification to vote, which is a very good thing because we never used to, So that's very good. And just, I turned it around and accepted forms of photographic identification. Normally, I just really have one valid one, which is my passport, my British passport, okay? Because I no longer have a driver's license because I let it expire. I knew what I was doing. I don't want to drive anymore. And so since it is expired, it's obviously not a valid document. I have other things like, my bus pass for people over 65, I think, something like that. But that is not usually accepted. Okay, so basically the passport. Okay, so you must bring a passport. Okay, so this is what I found. It's amazing when you look at the fine print. A passport issued by the UK, good. Any of the Channel Islands, good. The Isle of Man. A British overseas territory. What is a British overseas territory? We're not talking about the Commonwealth. A British overseas territory. Okay, so I looked at what a British overseas territory is, and it's all the little islands sort of around the world. It's Anguilla, Bermuda, British Antarctic territory, that is all there, Argentina, all that. They are, for the most part, uninhabited. Most of them, they're just bases, military bases. Okay, so the British Antarctic territory, the British Indian Ocean territory, also little islands, many of them you haven't heard of, but there they are as military bases, as it were. The British Virgin Islands, the Cayman Islands, that is where they have all the money, the billionaires, so that they don't pay taxes. The Falklands Islands, they are by Argentina, and Gibraltar at the very end of the very south point of the Iberian Peninsula. Okay, so those are the British overseas territories, which means that you bring to vote your passport from these islands, and I suppose you can vote. Okay, so that is the British overseas territories. And then an EEA state. An EEA state. What is an EEA state? I'm glad you asked, because I looked it up. And this is the old free trade, what was it? The European Free Trade Association. You may not know what that is. Okay, let me give you a little bit of the history. So, the European Economic Community that we used to call the Common Market, it was first founded in 1950 as, they had these names, the protection of steel, the protection of something else. it eventually became the European Economic Community. All right, and then in the 1990s, it became the European Union. In other words, not just economics, free trade, but also a political union. But in 1960, there was another association that was actually going to compete with the European Economic Community. And this was the European Free Trade Association, European Free Trade Association, EFTA. Okay? Now, what was that? Well, Britain was part of that. There were 7 members, 7 original members. Austria, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Switzerland, the UK, and Portugal, because Britain always brings Portugal along. I told you this story, okay? So Portugal, since, you know, the Spanish Empire and all that, it was always the one that, it was always the UK sidekick, as it were, okay, to check on the Spanish Empire, pretty much as Chile is there as the sidekick to the Americans. Okay, that is why when in 1973 the people of Chile voted for a socialist communist government, there was this CIA coup to remove, they killed him, Allende, President Allende. Okay, they couldn't possibly allow Chile, which is the one that keeps check on all the other Latin American countries, to go rogue. And it didn't matter if the coup was obvious and evident for everyone to see, it didn't matter. Chile could not go that way. It had to be, you know, the watchdog for the United States. And Portugal has always been sort of like this for the UK. Okay, so that is why Portugal is there. Now, what happened? It didn't succeed very well. Okay, the European Economic Community succeeded, and so then you have, this was a treaty. It was signed on the 4th of January 1960, this Free Trade Association. Okay, it didn't succeed. So then you have the United Kingdom applying to become a member of the European Economic Community. And you remember that it was rejected twice by de Gaulle. De Gaulle was still there in the 60s, and de Gaulle did not want the United Kingdom to become part of the European Community. Why not? Because de Gaulle always saw England as partnering with America, part of that other side. Okay, and he had, de Gaulle had this thing about the United States becoming too powerful in Europe. He got out of NATO and everything. Okay, he always thought that Europe should stand by itself and do their own thing, and not become vassals to the United States. And he saw Britain as very much, you know, not part of the United States, but looking always towards the Atlantic rather than to Europe. So he rejected Britain's entry into the common market twice. After he died and everything else, in 1973, finally the UK was made a member, accepted into the European Economic Community. Okay, so there we are. But the old European Free Trade Association actually didn't go away. And it's still there. And it is composed of, now, the original members, remember, were Austria, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Switzerland, UK, and Portugal. Well, now is Iceland, Liechtenstein, Norway, and Switzerland. And what do they do? Well, one of the things that they have to do is to manage the agreement on the European Economic Area. That is what it means, European Economic Area, EEA. And what is that agreement? It brings together the member states of the European Union, so they have expanded, plus 3 of the EFTA states, Iceland, Liechtenstein, and Norway now. And also Switzerland, because Switzerland, even though it's not a member of the European Union or the EEA, is nevertheless, it is explained in the single market, and therefore it's also referred as the internal market. And so now you have this EEA, which includes members of the European Union, plus some additional ones from the European Free Trade Association. Are you still with me? But the thing is that officially, at any rate, the UK left the European Union. I don't know whether we have gone back to the, what is it? The European Free Trade Association, or the EEA. We must have done, because in our polling thing, it says that you can present your passport from an EEA state, which means that if you can present your passport from an EEA state, I'm sorry, I'm putting 2 and 2 together here, that means that you can vote. So that means that if you're a member of the it seems to me, if you are a citizen of a European Union state, or if not in the European Union, one of the other 4 states and Switzerland, that you can vote. Okay, so I'm looking further into this, and now I see that an EEA state is, besides the European Union, is, okay, Belgium, Bulgaria, Cyprus, Denmark excluding the Faroe Islands and Greenland, Germany, Estonia, Finland, France, including the French Guiana, Guadalupe, Martinique, Mayotte, La Réunion, and Saint Martin. All these islands all over the place, also, around Africa and everywhere else, that belong to France. Plus Iceland, Liechtenstein, and Norway, which are EEA but not EU. Okay, so EEA, Belgium, Bulgaria. You can figure all the other ones, but Bulgaria was a little bit of a surprise. Where is Bulgaria? Bulgaria is between Turkey and Romania in the east. Not exactly Denmark over there, but is a member of the EEA, together with France and all their dominions all over the place. And those passports are accepted here. A passport issued by the UK, any of the Channel Islands, the Isle of Man, a British overseas territory, all those islands, an EEA state, or a Commonwealth country. So all those people can vote, including someone living in Réunion, which belongs to France. Are you with me here? I must be getting it wrong, but this is what it says here in my polling card. And I looked up what constitutes an EEA state, and they give me this information. Now, what else is accepted? A driving license, okay. A driving license issued by the UK, any of the Channel Islands, the Isle of Man, or an EEA state. So we, I suppose, are part of or accept an EEA state. I thought we had left the European Union, but we are in an EEA state, which comprises the European Union plus other countries. What else do they accept as a photographic identification? A biometric immigration document, okay. Hold on. Okay. An identity card bearing the proof of age standards scheme hologram. It is also called a pass card. How do you get a pass card? Proof of age. Well, is for everyone in the UK. You get it at the post office. It costs you £15. No existing ID required to apply. And it is approved by the Home Office and accepted throughout the UK. So you can go to the post office, you have no other whatever identity, and you get a proof of age. You know, but you can get something like this pretty easily if you know, So that is your pass card. So if you have a pass card, you can vote in the UK. Ministry of Defense Form 90, also called the Defense Identity Card. This is for veterans, I think. Okay. A blue badge. What is a blue badge? A blue badge is, I think I had it here. I think it was something, I'm not sure now. A blue badge, yes, a blue badge is the, the parking requirements if you are disabled. Okay, so they give you a blue badge. Okay, so if you have managed to get a blue badge, you can actually vote. A national identity card issued by an EEA state. So you don't even need the passport, just your identity card. From what? From the island of Guadalupe. You can vote here. An older person's bus pass. Now, I have tried to use my bus pass sometimes when, have you got any, they ask me, have you got any identification? And I don't have my passport. And the only thing I have with a photograph is that bus pass. And then they don't accept it normally. No, it has to be something official. I said, okay, I understand. But You can use your bus pass. If you're a person older than 65, you have a bus pass. You can use that to vote. You don't have to be a citizen. You can get a bus pass very easily. If you come from Senegal or someplace, it would take you half a second to get all these um, cards and things. A disabled person's bus pass. Okay, an Oyster 60 plus card. What is an Oyster 60 plus card? Who is eligible? I looked it up. If you are 60 plus and living in a London borough, you can get free travel on our transport services with an Oyster photo card until you're eligible for a Freedom Pass, which is travel free on buses, tubes, trains, and so on. Okay, and this is also called the Older Person Freedom Pass, which you can get the Older Person Freedom Pass if you have a disabled card, for example, you get it automatically. Not difficult to get. So that is an Oyster 60 plus card. A Freedom Pass, which is what you get after that, and then a Scottish National Entitlement Card, okay, a 60 and over Wales Concessionary Travel Card, okay, a Disabled Persons Wales Concessionary Travel Card issued in Wales, fine. Senior Smart Pass issued in Northern Ireland, okay. A Registered Blind Smart Pass or Blind Person's Pass, okay, in Northern Ireland. A War Disablement Smart Pass, okay, fine. A 60 plus Smart Pass issued in Northern Ireland, okay. A Half Fare Smart Pass in Northern Ireland, okay. Right. And the last one is a Voter Authority Certificate or a temporary Voter Authority Certificate. What is a Voter Authority Certificate? Which you can get eventually, but you can get a temporary one anyway, the temporary Voter Authority Certificate. You can get it from your council. What do you need? Well, if you do not have an accepted photo ID, you don't have any photo ID, you don't have a passport, you don't have anything, okay? You can get this, provided these three. If you can get a temporary voter authority certificate if you do not have an accepted photo ID. If you no longer look like the photo of your ID, so you go with your ID and you can say, I'm sorry, I know I look different. That is why I require a temporary voter authority certificate. I can think of situations where, okay, I'm not going straight to when you were young and now you're 85 and you look totally different. No. I think that here, the people who will use it are people who, they say, look, we're not, exactly the same, but, you can get a temporary voter authority certificate. What else? If the name on your photo ID is different to your name on the electoral register. I'll read that again because you're probably going, what? Yes, it's there on the website. the government. The name on your, if the name on your photo ID, let's say your passport, my goodness, is different to your name on the electoral register, you can go to your council and ask for a temporary voter authority certificate, which will then become a official voter authority certificate. In other words, you can go and say, look, the photo is different, kind of, okay, but it is really me. And the name is also different to the name is different from the name that you have there in my, but you know, and I don't look the same, but please give me a temporary voter authority certificate, and then you can vote. Oh, wait, there's more. If you do not possess anything, not even a temporary voter certificate, authority certificate, if you do not possess any of the above forms of photographic identification, panic not. Okay. You can apply to your local electoral registration office for a free voter authority certificate. Okay. This is what I have just explained. The voter authority certificate. And if your photographic identification document has expired, it will still be accepted. Oh, so I could go with my expired driving license. It will still be accepted so long as the photograph is still a good likeness of you. Kind of a good likeness of you. So you could go with an expired, with an expired driving license from your sister who has expired and is deceased, but you look like her. So, which is, oh my God. Very easy to vote in the UK. Not only because even if you are, look, really the only problem I see for anyone who's here illegally, they can get all these documents. The only problem might be that I haven't really gone into it, but I know that for whatever thing you normally ask for your national insurance number. But anyone with survival skills would know, I would know how to get them. Okay, so you start working perhaps somewhere with a friend, whatever it is. You get a P60, you get a wages slip, for a while, blah, blah, blah. You can actually get your national. And once you get that, you are officially here, regardless of whether you came legally or not. Anyone from anywhere will figure it out very, very quickly. But not only that, it's all these people from all these EEA countries, which you thought you had left the European Union, but somehow we are somehow in the EEA, I suppose, because we're accepting all these people and they can produce their passport or their identity card. Okay, so I'll read them to you. The EU plus, the EEA, specifically the European Economic Area, Belgium, Bulgaria, Cyprus, Denmark, excluding the Faroe Islands and Greenland, Germany, Estonia, Finland, France, including French Guiana, Guadalupe, Martinique, Mayotte, La Réunion, and Saint Martin, Iceland, Liechtenstein, and Norway, which are not in the EU, but they are in the EEA. Switzerland, because it's neither the EU not in the EEA, but is a member of the single market. Okay, I'll let you to ponder. I was going to talk about Rishi Sunak and Keir Starmer. I'll probably do it a little bit later. Okay, and my and the Liberal Democrats here, my member of Parliament, but I'll leave that for another one. Thank you so much. Bye bye.